Hey guys and gals, Greg and Mortis back with a feature movie review. What we're going to be reviewing tonight is a movie called The Boy 2. This is Brahms, The Boy 2. It comes from STX Pictures, also Universal Pictures as well. And this is a sequel to the original movie The Boy, directed by William Brent Bell, who returns with Brahms Part 2 here. Creepy doll movie, so you kind of know. If you've not seen The Boy 1, Brahms The Boy Part 1, I would recommend probably watching it, even though this is kind of set up as a standalone sequel. I still think you should go ahead and watch the first Boy, so let me go ahead and get that out of the way before we get to talking about the movie. Okay, so basically, the movie itself, this is a 2020 horror film that released. It was only out for a brief time in the theaters, but it's unaware. I'll just read it off the back of the Blu-ray box. Unaware of the terrifying history of Hillshire Mansion, a young family moves into a guest house on the estate where their young son makes an unsettling new friend, an eerie lifelike doll he calls Brahms. Katie Holmes stars as a mother who increasingly becomes uneasy and terrorized by her son's new supernatural friend. Now, this is an hour and 27-minute movie. This one is light on horror. Now, I will say that. This is more of a psychological thriller than I would consider it to be a horror movie. It is a doll movie. As you can tell by this porcelain face, this movie, from number 1 and even number 2 here in Brahms, the doll is creepy. I mean, it really is. Any kind of porcelain, white-faced, motionless doll creeps me out. And they've done a really good job with this one, I will say, as far as the doll itself. The basic setup is Katie Holmes plays the character of Liza, the mother. Her son, Jude, who's played by Christopher Convery, who is from Stranger Things, Part 3, and a few other things that he's got going on. I think Gotham, the TV series Gotham. As well as you have Owen, I think it's Owen, I guess you would say. I apologize for butchering your name, but Owen Yalman, who is in The Mentalist and a couple other items or shows too. He plays the father, Sean. And then you got one other character, and I'm just naming out the main characters. You got Ralph Ineson, who plays Joseph, who is, I guess you would call him kind of the creepy caretaker or creepy dude that shows up. But anyways, opening up of the movie, you basically have Liza and her son. They're by themselves. The father is, and sorry it goes to Universal, but the father is away for business, and we see something happen. There's something, I won't spoil it, but something happens and there is an accident, and Liza ends up with a head injury, and the son, Jude, ends up traumatized by it to where he will not speak. So the husband comes home. They end up moving to this guest house of the mansion from the original Brahms, number 1, The Boy, and they don't know nothing about what had happened in that mansion. So anyways, they move into the guest home. Instantly, Jude ends up finding a doll, this doll here, Brahms, and he becomes friends with it, and the doll ends up talking to him. And the whole movie is basically a mind trip with Katie Holmes' character. Is she going crazy, as it seems like maybe the father, husband is thinking, or maybe something's traumatizing her and she's thinking things? Or is it truly something supernatural or something going on besides what is going on in the mind? So it's kind of a mind-trippy movie. I thought the acting in this movie was pretty good. I thought the boy Christopher Convery done a really good job. I liked him. I also liked Owen, even though his character, he is in the movie quite a bit, but I didn't feel like there was enough depth in his character, so I didn't really ever get a true feel of him. And I thought Katie Holmes done a really good job for what she done as well. And then, of course, Ralph Ineson, who I knew from The Witch, or The Witch, which is one of my all-time favorite witch movies of the last decade. I thought he done a really good job being a creepy guy that shows up. But overall, there's not a lot of visual, there's no gore, okay? No gore whatsoever. There is a wound, a stab wound that happens. I won't tell you how or where. But overall, it's just more of a psychological thriller. I thought it was a decent film. I felt at 1 hour and 27 minutes, it paced okay. I wanted to see a little bit more. I felt like it needed a little bit more. Was I disappointed with it? No, I enjoyed it. I liked The Boy, which receiving this copy, I went ahead and watched The Boy because I'd never seen Brahms' The Boy Part 1. And I'm glad I did. I liked that one as well. And so this one I felt like was a good follow-up to the original, even though it is technically kind of its own entity to an extent. But overall, I thought it was executed fairly well. Also, I would say, too, that the doll itself, as creepy as this doll is, Brahms, this plays out in the movie in the sense that you will find out that this just ain't a random doll. That this doll's been around, I'll go ahead and, slight minor spoiler, has been around for decades and decades and decades, okay? So just stay tuned for that. And overall, it just has some creepy moments. Now, there is 20 extra minutes of bonus features on the Blu-ray. There's an alternate ending. I thought that I liked the original ending that's in the movie itself more than I liked the alternate ending. The alternate ending had almost like a totally different feel than what they were going for in the movie, so I'm glad they kind of kept it where they did. There's some deleted scenes and bonus footage. There was a couple scenes that I think could have benefited with it being in there, but overall I felt like they kept the movie where it should have been. So I probably would have done it the way they did it. I don't think I would have put the extra footage in. But overall, I like the direction of William Brent Bell. I do like him as a director. I thought, he was able to do things with the camera, clever. And I felt the music was okay in this movie. It didn't lack from that. There's a little bit of hokey CGI effects at the end of the movie that, kind of threw me off a little bit. But overall, I think it's a decent film. I don't think you could go wrong by watching it. This movie, I was reading up on some of the reviews online, and I feel like it was getting unjustly butchered. Like, it's got some really harsh criticism. And I think my wife will agree with me. I don't understand quite the criticism it's getting, like a 1 out of 5 star and stuff. I think is like really going low on this movie. I've seen a lot worse. I really have. I think if you, as a true horror fan, if you are really into horror, I think this one's lacking a lot of that. I think it's just a creepy, ghosty, supernatural style film that it's okay to watch. If you can get this movie under $10, go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and get the first two and keep it. I'm sure there's going to be a third one to this one. I'm sure they'll keep it going because this is one of those movies they could continue on with the storyline, okay? But if you're looking for gore, you're not going to get it in this movie. If you're looking for fantastic, outstanding, over-the-top CGI effects that'll blow you away, you're not going to get it. But you will get a creepy doll and you will get some good acting. So overall, man, I'm giving this a little bit above average. I'm giving it like a 6.5 out of 10. I say just go ahead and stream it, or if you want to and you're like myself that love to collect movies, you can't go wrong with owning it. It's a beautiful Blu-ray. It's got the your digital code, so if you have your Voodoo account or whatever, you can put your code in there and you can have it digitally as well. I've done a lot worse. I thought it was an okay film. 6.5 out of 10. Not a bad film at all. It says Brahms was never just a doll. I'm telling you, the doll creeps me out. Damn, it creeps me out. But anyways, if you like this review, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so below. You'll see the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it if you click that. And leave your comments. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it or whatnot? I'd love to hear it. If you want to hear more from me, you can always follow myself, Gregor Mortis, at landofthecreeps.blogspot.com. That is our horror podcast where we just released episode 221, where we talked about underappreciated franchises. We would love to have you tune in. We're available anywhere that you can listen to a podcast, whether it's Stitcher, iTunes, or Apple, whatever they're calling it now, or Spotify, wherever you want to go, you can find us. It's Land of the Creeps Horror Podcast with myself. We got Big Bill Van Vagel. We also got Dave, Dr. Schottbecker, Double H Haddonfield Hatchet, Sean Davis pops on. So we'd love to have your support there as well. So until further notice, man, I'll be back with some more reviews in the future. Until then, we're going to see you on the flip side. landofthecreeps.blogspot.com. Once again, Brahms, The Boy Part 2, 6.5 out of 10. And we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.